I just wanted to show you guys a really nifty way of hiding money printers, drug plants, anything like that. So you can see here, this is a pretty normal looking house, and the trick to this is that you don't really want to own the house because ownership is kind of half the battle here. So actually, you see here, a police officer comes by, and I don't know how he got tipped off or what happened, but he asked to search the premises, and I was like, well, go ahead. It's not my house. I don't really care. You can do whatever you want, dude.
Search the premises?
And you'll see here that my stuff is so well hidden, actually, that even though the guy goes in, he has free range of the house. I let him go here, go in, and do whatever he wants, and he ends up not finding anything here. But yeah, the main thing here is you don't want to own any of the doors. In fact, leave them all open. You'll notice here that I have the garage door wide open, the front doors are wide open. Pretty much every door that can be open is wide open. It's supposed to look warm and inviting. It's supposed to look like nothing is suspicious happening at all. And look, he's driving away now. This cop is driving away, and I'm just kind of walking away to kind of make myself not look very attached to it, because I mean, this part of it's pretty important. I mean, you gotta play the role. You gotta play like that ain't your house. Yeah, he asked if I want to ride, actually, and I tell him no. But there are these people over here on the corner. I think they might have been the ones that tipped him off. You'll notice that they are actually quite close to my little fake hideout here. But I'm just walking down the road here to lose the cops, and then I'm going to turn right back around and head back pretty much right now. As soon as I see him go over that crest, I'm like, nope. So anyways, here we are. We're back at the house. We've lost the cops. We still got the people on the corner, but they're doing their own thing, so they don't even notice us. But we've walked back here. Again, gates are open, not owned by anybody. Nothing crazy going on, just a normal backyard. We're going to take a look on the inside here, and you'll notice, again, none of the interior doors are owned. Everything's just wide open. Anybody that walks in can clearly see that, you know, everything is just completely normal around here. I mean, you have these people down the street, but other than that, there's not really anybody to mess with us. Now, this is also probably a trick that you're gonna want to do when you're on a less populated server. I think there's probably about like 10 people on this server right now. This is a fridge that I put here. Now, that's the only thing that looks out of place, and it'll probably distract people because they're gonna wanna go on the roof. And now, this is actually my first hiding spot. There's actually some pretty good crevices on these roofs that you can hide stuff, and it's not visible from the road or anywhere else. And I'm sure you could find an even more obscure object to put there. But time for the coup de grace. I don't know if you guys noticed how wonky this looked over here, but there is indeed a money printer hidden over here. And yes, you can just barely hear it. Now, it is going to kind of depend on the server whether or not you can accomplish this. You know how loud your money printers are, what they look like, whether or not they're the type that need a lot of servicing. So there's a lot of factors that go into whether or not this is a doable thing. But you'll notice here that there's all sorts of little bushes and trees that you can spawn that are just perfect for hiding your money printers, and they blend in with just, you know, your normal surroundings. So you just kind of have to get a little creative with it and work with your surroundings a bit. And now the thing you'll notice here is that I'm utilizing the search function. I've searched bush here, but you can also search things like tree, and you'll find all sorts of stuff that you can spawn. This is the tree model in particular that I used here, and it doesn't quite match with the trees around it, but it's a tree model, and it's pretty inconspicuous if you don't really like look at it too hard. Pretty much blends in just like any other tree, and you get it positioned right, and nobody will really look at it twice, especially if it's in like a random backyard of a random house that nobody owns, and it's, you know, not a very populated server. The chances of somebody coming across it are pretty slim. Now, here you'll kind of see my methodology. A lot of servers have a lot of items blocked, so you'll kind of just have to search tree, search bush, and just kind of go up and down the lists and see what it'll let you spawn, and kind of go based off of that, find, you know, the best things that work. And you'll honestly find that most things don't work, but you will usually find one or two things that they forgot to blacklist or whatever. And, you know, you'll eventually happen across something like I did, a nice, great, big, bushy tree that actually looks half decent. And although it doesn't match all the trees around it, it's still a tree, and it's still got leaves, and most people probably wouldn't look at it twice. Now again, same thing with the bushes. You search bush here and there's all sorts of bushes, but most of them don't work. You just got to find those couple that do and try to work them in a way that you know, hides your item pretty well. So here you'll see how I use the bushes to kind of create a little bit more of a facade. And these don't really work all that well in my opinion. So we'll try some of these bushes here, which are a lot greener. They're bigger, bushier bushes, and they kind of have weird characteristics where their hitbox is pretty small, but they seem to cover like a pretty large area. So they're really nice for being able to like still kind of move through, but still blocking like a lot of visibility of the printers, you know. So you can more or less prop block them without actually prop blocking them, because you know it's still completely accessible. It just creates the illusion of being blocked off by a bunch of stuff here. And you can see these can kind of get glitched through the game world and other objects and stuff. So they're pretty interesting props to utilize. And again, there's not really any other bushes on this map, so anybody that's paying really close attention would probably notice that immediately. But anybody that's, you know, just kind of running through real quick and just noticing that it's an empty house, they're probably not going to bat an eye at that. Even if there are no other bushes in this entire map, they're probably not going to bat an eye at that. And again, you could accomplish this with just the tree, but the bushes are just kind of a nice touch. And if anybody gets a little bit closer than I'd like them to get, you can still kind of make sure that they won't see what's hidden behind the tree, because without the bushes there, if you get a little bit closer, you can, you know, pretty much see that there is a money printer there, and the bushes just kind of help solve that a little bit. But that's about it. But yeah, you can see here, you can still pick it up, move it. You know, you might want to lean it against the tree, makes it a little bit harder to see. And we'll kind of step back here and try to get a good look at it, and you can see from back here, it just looks like a tree. There's really no way you could ever possibly see that. And of course, once you're done hiding your money printer, you just kind of go back inside the house, you know, leave all your doors open, make sure there's not really any evidence of anyone having been there or making a base or hiding anything. And once you've done that, you're pretty much good to go. You just dip out of there, leave the fucking front door open because you don't give a shit, it's not your house, and you just go out and do whatever. Kind of make sure, you know, you're not being watched. Make sure nobody like saw you leave the place, so you don't like draw any attention to it. But just kind of get the fuck out of there, do your own thing, come back every once in a while and check, see how much money you made. And just real quick, for anyone who was wondering, yes, you can actually hear it from the other side of this fence. Depending on you know what map you're on, you may or may not be on this map. Most people aren't really gonna be you know, around that area for no reason. And again, you'd most likely be doing this on a server that doesn't have a whole bunch of people, so you don't really have to worry about a bunch of stragglers or anybody, you know, coming to this house and trying to make this house their own. Because that would be one thing you would have to worry about if you are keeping your money printers in an unowned house. You do always have to worry that, you know, some person may come along and, you know, buy that house, and then you'll have to find a way to sneak onto their property to steal your money printer back, or they'll find it themselves or whatever, because, you know, they might eventually find the weird tree in their backyard